Psychology says emotional attachment is the invisible bond that pulls two souls closer than physical touch ever could. It is not something that can always be seen or measured with the eyes. Yet, it is something that is felt deeply within the heart and mind. It is the feeling of being safe, understood, and deeply seen without even saying a word. It is the invisible current that flows between two people, even when no conversation is happening. When two people are emotionally attached, their hearts begin to sink even in silence, and their presence alone brings peace and comfort that cannot be explained easily. So how do you know it is real? What are the signs that you are not just talking, not just dating, but actually deeply connected on a level that goes beyond surface attraction? Today, we uncover 20 clear psychological signs that you both are emotionally attached to each other, and we will go deeper into why these signs matter in relationships and how they reflect true bonding. Let us begin. When you feel emotionally safe with each other, when you are emotionally attached, you feel safe. You can open up about your past, your pain, your fears, without the fear of being judged. This safety does not come overnight, but through repeated experiences of trust, acceptance, and understanding. You do not need to wear a mask or pretend to be perfect. They create a space where you can just be raw, honest, and vulnerable, and you do the same for them. This emotional safety is not loud, it is quiet but powerful. It means you found someone who respects your truth and protects it like their own. Emotional safety is one of the foundations of long-term healthy connection, and psychology says without it, love often remains shallow, but with it, love becomes unbreakable. Two, you think about them constantly, even without trying. It is not obsession, it is emotional presence. They live in your thoughts, like background music, soft, but always playing. You find yourself smiling at random moments, just remembering something they said. Even when life gets busy, a part of your mind keeps checking in on them. You wonder how their day is, if they ate, if they are okay. Psychology says emotional attachment creates a mental connection that does not need effort, it just happens. This is because when someone becomes emotionally significant to us, the brain treats them as a central figure and stores them in memory, in the same way it does with family or lifelong bonds. 3, you share without being asked. You do not wait for them to ask what happened. You just tell them, whether it is good news, bad news, or something small. They are the first person you want to share it with, and they do the same with you. This unfiltered sharing is a clear sign of attachment because you naturally see them as part of your inner world. In psychology, this is called emotional disclosure, and it is considered one of the strongest markers of intimacy. For their mood affects yours. If they are happy, you feel light. If they are hurt, you feel heavy. This emotional synchrony is a psychological marker of attachment. You are not just connected, you are emotionally tied. Their energy becomes your atmosphere. Because when someone matters deeply, their pain echoes in your soul. Neuroscience also shows that mirror neurons in the brain literally fire when we sense the emotions of someone close to us, which is why we feel what they feel without them even speaking. 5, you miss them. Even when you just saw them, you just spent time together, but as soon as they leave, you miss them. It is not about time, it is about presence. You crave their energy, their comfort, their voice. You feel their absence like a gap in your emotional system. Psychology says this kind of longing is not dependency. It is the heart acknowledging an emotional home. When you find someone who feels like home, the absence always feels unnatural, and this longing confirms that the connection is rooted in genuine emotional closeness. 6, silence feels comfortable between you. You do not need to fill every moment with words. You can sit quietly and it still feels complete. That is because emotional attachment is not built on constant talking. It is built on understanding. When the silence Between you feels peaceful rather than awkward. It means your connection goes deeper than conversation. This level of silence comfort is rare and is often called companionate closeness. 7. You pick up on their emotions without words. They do not need to say, "I am upset." You know their eyes, their tone, their silence. It speaks to you and they sense your feelings too. This intuitive awareness is a psychological indicator of emotional closeness. It is the kind of connection that goes beyond logic. You feel each other. This sensitivity shows that you have developed emotional attunement, which only happens when two people are deeply bonded. 8. You prioritize their needs naturally without being told. You notice when they are tired. You offer help, you listen. You support, not out of duty, but because their needs matter to you. You adjust your schedule, your behavior, your decisions because their happiness affects yours. When emotional attachment is real, their well-being becomes part of your priorities. This is not about sacrificing yourself, but about willingly placing their peace on the same level as your own. 9. You feel safe showing your vulnerable side. You do not hide your emotions. You cry in front of them. You admit when you are scared. You talk about the dark parts of your past. Why? Because emotional attachment builds trust, and trust gives you the strength to let down your walls and show your heart completely. Psychologists agree that vulnerability is the highest form of intimacy because it shows that fear of judgment has disappeared. 10. You use we more than I. In conversations, you say we should go. We love that movie. We are thinking of trying this. It is no longer just you and them. It is us. Psychologists say language reveals attachment, and when I becomes we, it is a sign of emotional merging. This shows that in your subconscious mind, you already see your futures and experiences as intertwined. 11. Distance feels unnatural. Even if you try to stay away, it feels wrong. You feel the gap, the emptiness, the longing. You check your phone hoping to hear from them. You replay memories in your mind because emotional attachment makes their absence feel like a missing piece of your soul. This is not mere desire, but a deeper psychological pull created when two people's emotional systems have intertwined. You support each other through emotional lows. When one of you is down, the other steps up. You do not run away from emotional messiness. You show up. You hold space for tears, anxiety breakdowns, and they do the same for you. This emotional reciprocity is a key trait of deep attachment. It is love. But more than that, it is partnership of the soul. 13. You talk about the future together. Not just about next week, but years from now. You include each other in your dreams, your goals, your plans, whether it is travel, career, or lifestyle. You see them in your future. That vision comes from emotional anchoring where you cannot imagine growing without them beside you. 14. You both mirror each other's emotions. When they laugh, you laugh. When you are stressed, they get anxious too. This is known as emotional mirroring. It is a subconscious sign that your brains are emotionally attuned. Your emotional systems have started to reflect one another. That is not just chemistry, it is psychology. 15. You feel a deep sense of belonging with them. You may have felt lost before, but with them you feel found. You feel seen in a way no one else sees you. It is like your soul recognizes something familiar. Psychologists call this emotional homecoming. It is not about perfection, it is about resonance. And that is what deep emotional attachment brings. 16. You defend them even when they are not around. If someone criticizes them, you feel the urge to protect. You stand up for them even when they do not know. That is emotional loyalty. It means your bond is so deep, it shapes how you respond to the world. 17. You respect each other's individual space. Without insecurity, you understand when they need space. You do not panic when they are quiet, because emotional attachment is not about control. It is about freedom with trust. You both know the connection is strong even when you are apart. That kind of emotional maturity shows you are deeply safely attached. 18. You start adopting each other's habits. You pick up their slang, their routines, even their food choices, and they do the same. It is called emotional mimicry, a psychological phenomenon. When you are emotionally close, your brains naturally sync behaviors. It is unconscious, but it is real. 19. You value their happiness like your own. When they smile, it lights up your world. When they are hurt, it breaks you. You celebrate their wins. You pray for their peace. Their joy feels like your own, and their pain feels personal. That is not just empathy. That is emotional attachment at its core. 20. You feel emotionally pulled toward them no matter what, even after arguments, even after silence, even after time apart. Something inside you keeps pulling you back to them. It is not drama. It is not confusion. It is emotional gravity. Psychology calls this emotional permanence. The bond does not break with time or space because it is rooted in something real, something rare, something deeper than words. So how many of these signs did you feel? How many mirrored your heart? If you saw your connection in these words, know that it is more than just attraction. It is emotional attachment. It is the language of the soul, and it is a beautiful, powerful force that can build something lasting. Honor it, nurture it, and never take it for granted, because emotional bonds are rare in this world, but when they happen, they can heal everything, and they can give you the kind of relationship that stands strong against every test of time and distance.